Hello and welcome to this edition of Bison Talks Impact, coming to you from the Total Nonstop Impact Network. I am your host, Bison, and I'm joined today by the latest addition to the Knockouts roster, Courtney Rush. Welcome to the show, Courtney.
Thank you.
And you're looking absolutely fantastic and all colourful, exactly how I'd expect you to be.
Rosemary doesn't like colors. It's time to put a little bit out there, you know?
Definitely. Is that a new t-shirt? Is that a new t-shirt I see there?
This is actually an older t-shirt, but it's up on the Demon Buddy website and possibly our pro wrestling tees too. But yeah, this is my ode to Dragon Ball.
That's a cracker. I like that one.
I love it. It's so nice and bright, and it's like really soft orange style. It's great.
Oh, fantastic. I'm so pleased that I've got to speak to Courtney. I am so excited about speaking to Courtney today. I really am. Now, first off, it's great to have you on the show, Courtney. And I just wanted to ask for all the Impact fans out there that have never seen this, I'd like to call it maybe this incarnation, possibly, of you before. Who is Courtney Rush, and how did she find her way into Impact Wrestling?
Oh, Courtney Rush is a little anime-loving metalhead who wanted more than anything to be an Impact or then TNA Knockout. So that's why I went. That's why I chose Scott D'Amore's school, because I knew Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Petey Williams, all these TNA names came from there. Scott D'Amore worked with TNA then and now, and was heavily in dealing with the Knockouts division. So I was like, if this is what I want to be, this is clearly the school to go to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, this is great, and I'll tell you what. I'll tell you why this is great, because I'm used to listening to you with I like to call it like an English twang to your accent. Now, I might be wrong, but I honestly believe that your persona, your other persona, has a very distinctive English kind of style to its accent. Am I right or am I wrong?
It's the fake Catherine Hepburn. No.
There you go. There you go. I love it. I love it. Okay. Yes. So you have joined forces with Jessica, with a K, of course, because she's and of course you're now a Death Doll.
Officially.
And, of course, officially. To face that mischievous group, of course, the Witches of the Coven. What is about these witches that you really don't like? Because you and Jessica, and formerly Rosemary of the Death Doll, she did not like the Witches of the Coven at all, did she?
No, and me personally, I don't know. But if Rosemary says they're bad, I trust her. Her instincts are usually pretty spot on with that kind of thing, especially when it comes to like enemies of more like her world and like the realm stuff, anything to deal with like James Mitchell. But I do worry, because with me being active, and as far as I know, that wasn't the Shadow's plan. So that means that's somebody else's plan. If Rosemary is potentially, if her soul, if her demon spirit is still in the undead realm, that's a part of me. Me and her were bonded mutually, consensually. I chose to become symbiotic with her. And if she's not a part of me anymore, if she's not in she's not in the car, let alone the driver's seat, I gotta find her, because she's part of me at this point. It's almost like a piece of my soul has like a hole in it without her. So I do have to find her. And if it has something to do with these witches, if she had them scouted and branded as an enemy from pretty much the get-go. But I do worry that she kind of wrote them off as the fact that they were like, they're still humans stealing magic. And I think maybe she didn't kind of put as much emphasis on the threat that they could pose just because they were humans. And that's something I can do. Being a human, I can see that there are dangerous humans out there, and she might have underestimated them because she doesn't think much of humans.
Well, there you go. I think you can't be far wrong. I don't think you can be far wrong there. Now, what is it like? I mean, talking about Rosemary, what is it like getting to play multiple characters within Impact. I like to call it the Impact multiverse,
Yes.
If you will. You also have IPWF to play in as well. You know, what is it like being able to play those kind of like multi-characters all the way through Impact Wrestling?
You mean Auntie Tori?
Exactly. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's my aunt. She was a star on the territory circuit, but that's why I started wrestling.
Exactly. I mean, what is it like getting to play these characters? Because I mean, for me, I can imagine that it's exhilarating because you could take different aspects and different pieces of you and put them together and create something completely fresh and new. I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm just
no,
thinking...
you're 100% right. It's my favorite thing in the whole world is creating characters. I've always been like, I'm a theater kid. I've always been a big fan of the play. I can't remember. There's a specific play style for it, but it's very taken from like a theater back in like ancient Greek, where a lot like there would be like 3 actors and they would play all the characters with like different masks on and stuff like that. I love that. I love one-man plays where you're playing like all the characters. I love like small productions where 3 actors are playing 10 characters. You know what I mean? I love that stuff because I think that really shows the versatility and just like the creative ability to present someone who clearly was, you just saw them as somebody else, but they're so good in like their actions, their mannerisms, their voice, their everything that they present to you as a completely different character, and you believe it. Yeah. That's magic right there. That's true acting skill. And I'm very interested in that side of theater. So yeah, I love playing different characters.
Yeah, I think for me, it's kind of like one of the things that makes me such a huge fan of what you do is how you are so character driven. It doesn't matter what character you're playing, whoever it is, you are as a fan, you know, as somebody watching you perform, you are totally believable in whatever it is that you're doing, and I think that is amazing. In fact, I had a conversation with Steve, your brother, Crazy Steve. I had a conversation with Steve not so long ago, back tail end of last year, and in fact, that interview was like an hour and a half. Steve
I believe
can talk.
It. He's awesome.
Steve can talk.
Oh yeah.
And
he doesn't get enough chances to, I think.
Oh, he's amazing. And I didn't actually realize how much of an influence his creativity was on like the whole decay thing as well. At that time, I didn't realize that. But he said that one of the best things he ever did was basically work with you, because he said that like effectively it was just literally so easy to work with you because you are so believable.
Yeah,
I think that's
so easy to work with Steve. He and I, oh my God, it's just like I don't even have to look. I know where he's gonna be, and like something like the two of us create. And the two of us are like super artsy, you know, retentive, creative people. Yeah. And like very meticulous in details. So just the fact, anytime we get to like, when we reformed DK at the beginning of 21.
Yeah, it was 21.
21, yeah. Well, it was, we were both like just so excited about it because we were both so ready to work together again, so ready to like form something new, and then bringing in Taurus, and we both love him, and like to having like he's hilarious, and like having him as a part of us is amazing. Yeah. And but just getting to work with it, like even we had a pre-tape like a couple of weeks ago, and like Rosemary and Steve hadn't had any interaction in like months, and it was killing us both a little bit inside. And then when we like got like we were told we have a pre-tape, and we're like, we have to put in so much thought to this. And we literally just started thinking about the little details that we could put in to like emphasize Rosemary and Steve's relationship, because people hadn't seen them in forever. And like that's why as soon as he came onto the screen, and like we immediately went hive mind, pushed foreheads, and I think people understood that it was like, oh my God, I missed you. You know what I mean?
Now, the push foreheads thing, that's interesting because that is from something, and I can't think what it is. And I'm sure you're going to tell me.
It might be. That's something we've done since the beginning of Decay. It's kind of sort of meant to symbolize that, like the exchanging of information without words.
Oh, I thought it was like a connection, a kind of just like a connection between the two kind of thing.
Physical, like absolute representation of the connection. We're on the same page, of the same mind together.
Oh, always. I know where I've seen that before. Rocky Horror Show.
There you go.
Rocky Horror Show. There you go. I knew I'd see that. But yeah, no. So that is a, I totally get that, and I think you can get that chemistry from you guys on the screen as well, with everything that you do. I mean, there's no, and I think when you both came back together, just that first time, it was we knew that Decay was coming back. It was like nothing had changed. There's no time had passed. You'd just been, just apart for a week. You know what I mean? It was really, really good.
And that's how you can tell, like, you're best friends, when like all of a sudden you come back and it's like, oh, let's go, we got this,
Yeah, definitely. Now, one thing also I want to talk to you about now, Impact itself has never been more visible all over the world. I mean, you've got YouTube insiders. We've obviously got the deal with DAZN, as well as obviously it's available on AXS TV, Impact Plus. What does this kind of exposure mean to you?
It's very exciting because, like I said, I wanted to be a TNA knockout from the very beginning, and that when I started watching TNA was 2005, when it was on Spike TV, and like had like incredible like buzz and incredible distribution and so much hype going around after it. So in the years that followed, obviously, with like everything that we know, losing the Spike deal, struggling, possibly going out of business a couple of times, and now building itself back up and literally just pulling itself back up and doing everything and like gaining back the trust of the fans, gaining back viewers. I see so much positive feedback now where like the old meme of LOL TNA is like almost died out, because anytime someone tries to throw it at Impact now, people go like, you should probably give it a try. It's been good for a while now.
Yeah. I often say that.
Yeah.
I mean, what I say to people now is because, obviously, one of the questions I'm going to talk to you about in a minute is obviously the amount of people that are starting to come and watch the shows.
Yeah.
Now, what I say to people now is like, when they go, oh, I'm thinking about going to a TNA, I say like, look, guys, go to the Impact show. I promise you will go back. You will go back. You will enjoy yourself so much. You will go back. It's difficult for me. I live in the UK, and
hopefully soon someday.
I know.
I want to be there too.
I know, and I did come and see you. I think it was at Emergence when I came over to Chicago, and I came and said hello to you then. And,
I knew I saw you recently.
Yeah, because it was literally, I think it was like probably about 3 weeks or so after I interviewed you, I think. I was, luckily enough, I just so happened to be in holiday over visiting friends in where was I? Indianapolis.
Okay,
and I said to my wife, I said, look, like Impact has got a show on. I won't go to both shows, I promise. I'll just go to Emergence. I really want to go to Emergence. I said, I'll drive up, I'll watch the show, stay overnight, drive back home, or drive back to Indy literally the following morning, which is why I couldn't get to the next show. But I did it. She let me do it. Bless her.
What a gal.
What a girl. She hates wrestling personally, but she loves me. So that's the main thing. She understands that I love it. So she appreciates that.
She gets you.
She gets me. She gets me that, I'm crazy. I think Impact is one of the most accessible products, especially in a live environment. So when you go in to a show and you've got stars on the side signing this, signing that, and sometimes you might have 5 or 6 people and at the start, and then at the end you've got another 5 or 6 stars signing as well, and they're all amongst all the fans. And I think you're never going to get that up north. You're never going to get that up north, right?
You're never going to get experience. You're just not.
No, and it's an amazing experience, and I think it's what makes fans like myself love Impact or TNA when it was TNA so much, because it was such a more personal experience going to a live event.
There's a comparison to be made to like music, and like you go to concerts, like there's a difference. Like you go to like these huge big stadium shows and it's crazy, and the atmosphere of like 20,000 fans is like intoxicating, but there's something to be said for those small venue concerts. And I love an intimate venue concert. It's so like,
yes,
you experience so much more. They can actually like, how do you possibly connect to 20,000 people? But like it's so much that there's no individual experience there. It's like the crowd and me. Whereas like with a smaller venue, you can like see their faces, interact, and like obviously I'm not disparaging large crowds. Like definitely if Impact can get to a point where we're playing 20,000 in a stadium, amazing. Let's go. But what I'm saying is that don't write it off just because we do have smaller crowds, because if you can't, like, I have never, ever spoken to anyone that did not have an amazing time at an Impact show.
I totally agree, because I do. Every time I go, I love it. And again, this year, we've seen some huge improvements in attendance for Impact live shows. I mean, we've had many sold-out venues, such as Hard to Kill with Bay Sacrifice. They've all been sold out, and everybody have had unbelievable time. So all I have to say really is at the end of the day, you know, go to an Impact show and then decide. You know, it's not even going to break it's not even going to break the bank, because I mean, even the GA is not exactly expensive. So you're going to have a fantastic time. But Courtney, this has been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. And
thank you. You too. Even though I am pretty suspicious of your name, Bison, or M. Bison.
I am the Bison.
Yeah. I don't want to get you, Shadaloo.
I don't want to get too Healy on you. So I'm reeling it in. I'm one of the only people that can actually understand Taurus, you see, because we both speak bull. So it's pretty good, really. But it's great to see you. I'm excited to see what's next for you, and of course the Death Dolls as well.
Thank you. Me too.
In the coming weeks and months, with what is shaping up to be what I think is a very interesting 2023 for Impact Wrestling and the entire Impact roster. I think it's going to be amazing.
We just keep getting wilder.
It gets wilder, and what Under Siege? Let's not go to Under Siege right now, but that was insane. But I'm afraid this is all we've got time for today. I don't want Simon kicking my backside. I hope you've enjoyed listening to my guest today, because I've certainly enjoyed talking to her. Courtney, would you like to let the TNI Army know where they can keep up to date with all things related to you, maybe get hold of your merch, your social media, and all that kind of stuff?
Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. So Twitter and Instagram, I have at Rushlemania. I've also hacked into Rosemary's Twitter, so you can still follow We Are Rosemary, and I will be giving you updates on everything there. If you want to catch merch for me, there's Pro Wrestling Tees /Courtney Rush, DemonXBunny.com, which should still have some of these left. And let's see. And then as for that, Twitch, I'm twitch.tv /RM the Demon Assassin, but you will also see me more on twitch.tv /Andy E Plays, where we run a Fire Pro Wrestling E-Fed every week.
Wow, that's cool. That is cool. You can, I tell you what, WrestleMania is everywhere. Let's face it, WrestleMania is everywhere.
We're taking over.
Taking over everything. Don't forget. Exactly. Don't forget to follow me, Bison, on Twitter at Lord Bison45, and make sure to follow the Total Nonstop Impact at We Talk Impact, which is available on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you list your favorite Impact related shows. We are there. If you enjoy this interview and you want to see more, please consider subscribing and giving the bell a tickle to never miss any of the fresh Impact related content coming to you each and every week. Until next time, this has been Bison Talks Impact with the incredible Death Doll herself, the very beautiful Courtney Rush. Take care, everyone.